ASMR Noir. Today I'm going to tell you a ghost story. Or is it a ghost story? You will be the judge of that. But I can promise you this. It is true because it happened to me. But first, let's get into the motion, shall we? Can't have a ghost story without some lit candles now, can we? Gonna light one. Gonna light two. Now we have enough light, I think. So, just lean back and listen to my story. It's not a long one, but nevertheless it was a mystery to me. Alright, here we go. A long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a land that perhaps you have seen in your dreams. But that's another story. I was riding home one early morning. I was about 16 or 17 years at the time. And I live on this island called Möja out in the Swedish archipelago, which most of you know. And I was riding home on a small moped from my friend who lives across the island on the other side. It was a warm summer morning and there were fog almost everywhere. You could see like 2 meters ahead of you because of this fog. I rode without any problems. The moped ran like a clock. When suddenly I came to a long stretch of road. On one side is the ocean. On the other side is a tall mountain wall. So, if you walk on the road at that specific place, you can either, if you want to get off the road, jump into the ocean or try to climb the mountain. So, as a normal person who walks on the road, you just have to continue until there's no more ocean or mountain wall. Well, I came there and the fog was incredibly thick. And in front of me I could see a couple walking. Now I found it a bit odd that there were a couple out walking this early in the morning, but nevertheless they walked in the middle of the road, and there was no way for me to drive past them if they didn't move. So I honked my horn. I had a horn on the motorcycle, but they didn't react. So I honked again and I slowed down very much, and no response from the couple on the road. So I yelled, "Move over," and they stepped aside, the side where the mountain wall is. And I carefully drove past them, but when I looked to the side where they stepped, there was no one there, just the mountain wall. It was like they had evaporated into the mountain or became one with the fog. They were nowhere to be seen. My heart jumped up in my throat my mouth became very dry and I was shaking like a leaf. But I kept on driving because I wouldn't want to stop there. The next stop after this straight road is a small village called Ramsmora. They have street lights and there's a lot of houses. So I stopped and I catched my breath and I was thinking to myself, what the hell did I just see? And I remember, even to this day, as clear as day, they were holding hands, they were walking side by side, and they stepped to the left, where the mountain wall is, and they just disappeared into thin air. But it doesn't stop there, my friends. It became more scary. Because after 5 minutes, I thought to myself, my God, you gotta go home. You gotta ride home. You can't stay here until the sun goes up. So I started my moped and I started to drive. Now this second part of the story needs a little bit of backstory. Between the village of Ramsmora and my home, which is in another village called Långvik, there's a huge oak tree. It's really huge. And the rumors is that during the Russian occupation of Maya, which was in the 1700s, I think, they actually hanged people in this massive oak tree. If they did, there's no real evidence, just tales. But it's been known to be called as the ghost oak. And I remember when I was younger, me and my friends usually took tourists, girls, when we dated them, and we went to the ghost oak and scared them. Nevertheless, I always felt a bit uneasy driving past this massive, huge oak. And this night it was even worse because of what had just happened. So I approached this big oak, and on the side of the road stood an old man. Now this isn't especially strange, especially not during the time when I grew up, because many of the old islanders were still alive and they were up early. So the first thing that hit my mind was that it was an islander who was up early taking a walk, because it was probably going to be a great day with sun and stuff. And he looked at me. He had his hollowed face and I didn't recognize him. I'd never seen him before. So out here on the islands, everyone says hello to each other on the road. Or if you meet, a simple hello. So I hello, and the old man, he did the same hello. And then he stepped off the road and disappeared, just like the couple had done just half an hour before. And I saw him disappear. This time he didn't just go into the mist or anything like that. He just toned out like a old picture, disappearing, fading. It went pretty quick too. It wasn't like a long process, but he just disappeared. And by this time I was so shook up that I could hardly drive. I went home, I locked all the doors, closed all the windows, and I didn't sleep that night. Is this a ghost story? Or is it just an overly imaginative imagination of a teenager? I cannot tell. The only thing I can tell is that I am 100% sure I saw both the couple and the old man. And I have not found a solution to this. They couldn't have disappeared into the mountain because... they couldn't have disappeared from the road because there were nowhere to go. And the old man faded away, and I have never seen him before. You know, it's a pretty small island, 500 living here at most. And especially the old folks, I know every single one of them, and that man I had never seen before. And I wish I had put more attention to what he was wearing, but you know, I was so hundered that it was an islander, so I just didn't pay much attention until he faded away. So, that's my ghost story. If it is a ghost story, that's up to you to decide. But it is mysterious and it gives you something to think about. With that said, if you like this video, I will probably be back with more ghastly tales from the islands, because these islands are filled with superstition, ghosts, revenants, you name it, we got it. Okay, I hope that this video was relaxing also, and as I always say,